All right, so we're back with glazing. Sorry that last video got an announcement going during the middle of it. So to pick up where we left off, we were mixing all of our colors, okay? I'm just gonna show you a couple of more glazing techniques, just kind of on the inside of the cup using kind of all these colors that I made. So the first technique that I really like is kind of like an ombre technique. So for this one, I would use the larger of the two brushes that you have. And basically what you're gonna do is you're just going to overlap the colors that you want to kind of ombre. So I'm gonna start with kind of like a yellow, and then I'm gonna overlap the orange, the pink to the red, and I'm gonna kind of go like rainbow all the way up. So again, starting with that yellow, and just kind of doing one nice coat on the inside. Remember, you're gonna do 3 total. I'm just gonna show you 1. Okay, make sure to be cleaning your brush in between. So just rinse a little bit in the water. Got your rag, just dry it off on your rag. Okay, then I'm gonna go up with my orange, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna lightly kind of overlap it with the yellow, but then let it kind of have one row where it's kind of on its own. And you don't want to water down the colors too much. Like, you can definitely have some water on your paintbrush, but if you water them down, it's, you know, it's gonna get even more watery, and then it's not gonna be as food or water safe. Okay, and then we're gonna take a little bit of the pink and just kind of, and again, I'm doing my brush strokes kind of side to side to kind of overlap within there. Then we'll do our red, which is going to be quite bright. And so you're just kind of overlapping a little bit of the color each time, and then those colors will kind of blend together once it's fired. So we'll go into our purple next, going just kind of classic rainbow here. Then I'm gonna do the sky blue, regular blue. Oh, let's do actually maroon next, because we made that maroon, because it's a bit of a darker red too, so maroon kind of off the purple. And then we'll go sky blue, regular blue, blue, purple, red, orange, yellow. Oh, I started with yellow. Okay, so we'll end with green. Oh my God, I couldn't remember how the rainbow goes. Okay, so sky blue. And again, I'm just kind of showing you one technique that I like. I'm not saying you have to paint everything to be like in the exact rainbow colors. I just like it for, again, love a good overlap. So just a fan of how that looks. Again, notice how much darker that blue is already compared to those other colors. Navy. Oh, crap. Okay, good example. So if you get glaze on the outside, there's my sponge. You can take a little bit of water and you can just wipe it with a wet sponge and it should come off. Or you can wait till it dries and kind of wipe it off with your hand and it should come right off. So if you get accidentally some glaze on some part, don't stress it too much. Okay, green to finish it off. Oh my God, I just did it again. See, this is what I get for trying to quickly go through a demo before the bell rings. Never works to my advantage, but that is just the way it goes. Okay. Right, and so you can kind of see all the different colors kind of overlapping within there, and it should turn out cool. Again, I'm gonna do 2 more coats, probably time-lapse style. So another technique that you can do is you can use your sponge to do a bit of sponge painting. I just squeeze out that water on my glaze. So rather than using the paintbrush, you can take the sponge and add like a nice little texture. So like, especially within my sky, you can take the sponge. I could be adding in some kind of white to kind of give me like a cloud effect, okay? Or my little ground down here. I can take some of my brown and just kind of, because I'm going for like sand, so just kind of, I would always recommend doing 1 coat or 2 coats first and then going in with your sponge kind of more secondary to give it that texture. Just again, so you're making sure to do 3 coats, especially in the inside of anything that you're gonna be eating or drinking out of. You always wanna have 3 coats. The outside can be a little bit less if you want, because you're not necessarily gonna be like consuming liquids out of it, but it always just looks better if you do 3 coats. So again, the sponge painting, just a little bit of glaze on your sponge, and then it just can kind of create a cool texture. It's very Bob Ross, happy little sagebrush. Okay, so last technique I'm gonna get into, I think, is etching. So basically to do that, you would paint 2 coats of one color, paint a 3rd coat on top, and then kind of scratch through with your paper clip to reveal the color underneath. So I've already got a couple of coats, let's say like on the kind of mountains here. So I'm gonna do just a coat of purple on top. I've got this like navy. I'm gonna go over that with purple, and then I'm gonna kind of scratch through to reveal that navy underneath. So this can be really fun if you do, let's say I did the ombre on the inside and then I painted it with black, and then you go and etch through until you see that kind of rainbow color. It can be really fun. You could paint, again, the contrast is really nice with black and like a lighter color underneath.
Please come pick up your yearbook at the office window. Thank you.
Sorry, so I'm filming these the end of the school year 2021. There's a lot of announcements for graduates. Okay, so got a couple coats of that. I'm just gonna kind of scratch through the purple to reveal the color underneath. I already have kind of some designs, so I'm just kind of leaning into those designs with my, like I already had some kind of lines and stuff in there, so I'm kind of just following those or recreating a few more to kind of scratch out a different detail. Okay, so you can see the kind of the contrast in there between the purple on top and then the blue that I'm kind of revealing underneath. So etching can be really fun kind of tool as well. Okay, so I think that that's pretty much it for glazing. So things to remember, again, primary colors, yellow, red, blue. We've got our tint white, our shade black. Remember to make orange, you're gonna combine yellow and red. To make green, yellow and blue. To make purple, red and blue. Pink, red and white. Sky blue, blue and white. To make maroon, red and black. To make navy, black and blue. And then to make brown or skin tone or a tan, all the primary colors. Again, starting with the lighter too, and then adding the blue in. And then again, you can always make it lighter or darker brown or tan with adding a little white and a little black. Always do 3 coats of glaze, especially on the inside of anything that you're gonna be eating or drinking out of. And then the last thing to note is you never wanna glaze the bottom of the piece, okay? So just like the glaze fuses to the pieces in the kiln, if you paint the bottom of the piece, it will fuse to the kiln shelf, and then when I go to take it out of the kiln, it is stuck and it can sometimes break as I'm taking it off. So if you do get glaze on the bottom as you're painting, which happens, just take your wet sponge and just kind of wipe any or all glaze off of there. You can also use a wet rag, okay, to wipe any glaze off. And you just want to wipe it until you see that bisque. So remember, the bisque is the clay that has been fired once, but isn't glazed. So make sure that the bottom of your piece is only bisque. Yeah, have fun, get creative, make sure to follow along with your designs, make sure to have a plan before you start, mix your colors before you start, and you always want to mix them in a container that you can close so that you can keep your colors for next class if you don't have time to finish them during this class. And then try your best to not contaminate your main colors, because these glazes should last you for most of your projects, and so if you start getting them contaminated, you're gonna get pretty bummed. So I hope you have a great time glazing. I can't wait to see all of your pieces, and good luck. Bye.